Alright, so here we are now on the Monday.com side of things. So under the main kind of file location, or page location, board location on Monday.com, Vernacular Design Production Workspace, we're going to have a board for each of the projects we're working on. And this will be kind of the progress management center for each project. So you'll see how, same as the file structure, discovery, visualization, solutions, and execution phases, the same setup is here on the Monday.com side. And what I've done is I've kind of taken the components of each of those phases, and I've broken them out as kind of tasks or items that we can accomplish here on the Monday.com phase. So as we start and finish, pieces of this process, then we'll start to fill this out, and we can visually track where we are in the project. We can track where we're at on a given timeline. So if we have critical projects that are getting close to due dates, then we can juggle one project against another as far as what has priority based on some of those items. So you'll see, obviously I'm on here. I will add you guys, or I will add you, Sean, I'll add you as a member to each of these boards, and then you can hopefully help me track the progress for each project here on this on the Monday.com board. So you see, existing conditions analysis breaks down into the different steps for each project. So the Matterport, obviously that's like a crucial component of how we are able to work together. So that's going to be assigned to me, and I can click that as done. Site photos, I've already been there on site and done the site photos. We're not going to do a topography analysis on this, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to say that is not in our scope. I'm going to do the same thing for client questionnaire. Don't need that, so it's not in our scope. No programming analysis on this one, not in our scope. And then existing drawings acquired and documented. That's pretty much done. I guess I was on site and I did that. Oh, I'm going to say that's done. Here, this one says, so for renovations or tenant finish, the existing conditions are modeled in our working model. So that'd be one that if you were invited already, I would add you, but right now I'm going to add my dummy guy. So I'm going to add him on there, and he's going to say that he's working on it. And so that's like a visual way for us to track where we're at on that project. A little bit more understandable than, I guess this allows us more information on the project, on the progress of a project, than we can really do in Upwork, because on Upwork we're just basically messaging back and forth. I guess one important thing about the Monday.com page is that here under the board chat or the board discussion, I think this is where we want to have all of our discussions. Monday lets you communicate on a pretty granular level. Like if you wanted to make a comment about the Matterport walkthrough, you could. I think it makes more sense to have all of our discussions in one central location on the board discussion. Under the board discussion here at the top, I've pinned the working folder. So the folder structure we just looked through, if I click on this, it's going to take me right to that production folder, and so that's going to be pinned at the top of the Monday board for that project, so it's easily accessible right there. This is probably where I should add the Matterport walkthrough, so I'll do that in a little while. But we'll have our conversations about each project right here, or we can have projects via email, that's fine, but this is just a tool that allows us to put each project in its box and have communication about that specific project right there, so that we can track, you can just kind of keep everything organized, one project to another. So as we move down to visualization, again, what we've got here is concept development. Okay, now I've broken that into each of its tasks. I haven't. This is a new project file, so I haven't assigned this work to anybody yet. A lot of these items under visualization are going to be mine because I'm going to be having those conversations and interactions face to face with the client. But that doesn't mean that I won't, on certain projects, give you guys pieces of this. I want you guys to be able to have fun with the projects. One thing that I always do for projects that have a design component is I create a Pinterest page. So that's something that I can add you to. That's a great place for us to do visualization of each project as we start to build out what the massing is, what the floor plan is, what the elevations look like, etc., etc. So you can see that I can expand this, and having these creates kind of a visual to-do list of where we're at in each project. Again, like we talked about previously, the solutions phase is where a lot of your guys' work is going to happen. I'm probably going to do a lot of the preliminary code review because that's just, I feel like that's my job on the project, is to make sure that we're aligned correctly on that. But then like initial documentation modeling, working model is established. I'm going to assign that to our dummy guy here, and he's got that done. That means the project is started and set up in the Revit folder, or in the Revit file. Project data is in the working model, and then we move on through that. So here under the 60% drawing set, this gives you an indication of what I'm expecting, how I'm defining what 60% drawing set looks like. It's going to have the floor plan views, enlarged floor plan views, exterior elevations, interior elevations, building sections, enlarged wall sections, and the material palette. Again, not every project is going to have every one of these components, but I do want to have a working standard where we do provide a lot of these components for each project, just so that we are communicating each project well with the client, with the city, with the contractor. So I'm just creating this template, this structure for all of our projects to follow, so that anyone can jump in and out of a project understanding what they're supposed to be doing. 99% basically takes the 60% set and adds on top of it all of these little defining pieces, like the door schedule, window schedule, finish schedule, equipment, wall type, legend, things like that. We're adding to that set until we get to the permit ready set. And then again, our final phase here is execution. That's where I'm going to be doing a lot of work. If for some reason you guys are involved down here, you'll have a task assigned to you. There may be a point where I start, having you guys submit drawings for permit and just handle the permit process if that's something you're comfortable with. But we'll talk about that as we go along in the future. So feel free to jump in here and kind of look around, explore it, try and understand it. This is all fluid for me, so I'm not tied to necessarily any of this part of the process as it has to be my way or the highway. I do want to work with you on creating a system that works well for both of us, but I feel like this is a good starting point. So yeah, we'll go from there.